we'll be talking about the dark truth about the Harry Potter franchise. Let's get right into it. Harry Potter is one of the most successful media franchises ever. From books to movies and even video games, the Harry Potter franchise has captured the minds of the masses. The franchise has earned over $7 billion through the movies alone, not counting the books, merch, and games. The movies were in fact so successful that 13 years after the final Harry Potter movie, Hollywood has decided to bring the story back with a new series adaptation for HBO. It's safe to say a massive number of people watch the Harry Potter movies and support the brand, but do they know what they're really consuming? Harry Potter might appear like just another kid's book turned movie, but what is the franchise really promoting through its content? The truth about Harry Potter is much more sinister than most people can imagine. On the surface level, Harry Potter seems like a child-friendly movie about wizards and magic, but what most people don't realize is that there's nothing innocent about these stories. The story of Harry Potter is deeply rooted in occult themes that come directly from real-life magic. In order to understand my point, we must first understand the inspiration for Harry Potter. What inspired the author to write the books? J.K. Rowling is a British author who wrote all 7 of the Harry Potter books that were later turned into the billion-dollar movie franchise. She claims she came up with the story of Harry Potter on a train ride from Manchester to London, stating that the idea just popped up in her head, and she spent the next 7 years of her life trying to complete her books, even going broke in the process. The first book she would release was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone in 1997, marking the beginning of the Harry Potter franchise. Over the next 10 years, J.K. Rowling dropped 7 more books that were mega successful. But in 2001, the first Harry Potter movie was released to the world, which began the 10-year movie run of the franchise. If we go off what this story is telling us, J.K. Rowling is just a genius who came up with such an elaborate story out of her imagination. The problem with this is that Harry Potter actually draws most of its story from real occult themes and beliefs. Let's start with the first book released by J.K. Rowling. The first book was called Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Well, the first book was actually called Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, not the Sorcerer's Stone. The title was changed by Scholastic for the United States release in 1998 for whatever reason. What's interesting about this original title is that the Philosopher's Stone is a direct reference to the Philosopher's Stone in alchemy, a real form of occult magic. Alchemists believe the Philosopher's Stone can be used for several magical purposes. They believe that with the Philosopher's Stone, not only can they turn any base metal into gold, but they can also become immortal. The Philosopher's Stone is said to have been created by Albertus Magnus, who handed it down to his pupil, who allegedly lost the stone, never being found again. To this day, alchemists have been trying to achieve the magnum opus in order to recreate the stone, which allegedly no alchemist has been able to do since. The first book told the readers in the title what the series was all about, occult magic. J.K. Rowling didn't come up with the story of Harry Potter in her head like she claims. She turned real-life occult knowledge into a child-friendly kid story. The entire story of Harry Potter is actually based on masonry, and J.K. Rowling admitted this herself. Back in 2017, J.K. Rowling was featured on a BBC documentary about Harry Potter for the 20th year anniversary. During the documentary, she revealed to the world where the symbol of the Deathly Hallows come from. J.K. Rowling claims that while she was drawing the character Professor Sprout, she was watching a movie about masonry called The Man Who Would Be King. During the movie, this Masonic symbol was shown right as she received a call that her mother had passed away. If we look at the symbol, we can see it's a Masonic all-seeing eye. It's an obvious Masonic symbol, and there's no way to hide that. She claims that 20 years later, she realized the symbol of the Deathly Hallow was the Masonic symbol she saw in the movie, The Man Who Would Be King, when her mother passed away. She also claims that the passing of her mother is what made the symbol stick with her, stating that to this day, the Masonic symbol gives her chills. In the documentary, she was quoted saying, "The Masonic symbol is very important in that movie, and it was literally 20 years later that I looked at the sign of the Deathly Hallows and realized how similar they were. When I saw the movie again and saw the Masonic symbol, I went cold all over, and I thought, is that why the Hallow symbol is what it is? And I got a feeling that on some deep subconscious level, they are connected. So I feel as though I worked my way back over 20 years to that night, because the Potter series is hugely about loss. And I've said this before, if my mother hadn't passed, I think the stories would be utterly different and not what they are."
And it's from an old Rudyard Kipling story. And the Masonic symbol is very important in that movie. And it was literally 20 years later that I looked at the sign of the Deathly Hallows and realized how similar they were. When I saw the movie again and saw the Masonic symbol, I sort of went cold all over, and I thought, is that why the halo symbol is what it is? And I've got it on some deep subconscious level. They are connected.
Reading this quote made me realize two things. J.K. Rowling is obviously a Masonic puppet, and also, it appears she could have possibly ritually offered her mom to have the world. In the documentary, she admitted that Harry Potter is about loss, and if it wasn't for her mother passing away, the story wouldn't be what it was. She's openly attributing the success of her books to the loss of her mother, a pattern we often see from the occultists who run the entertainment industry. The fact she is trying to act like she didn't know the symbol she used for her book was the Masonic symbol is complete nonsense. The entire series is about ritual occult magic, and she wants us to believe she just accidentally used a symbol of real-life Masonic magic to represent magic in her book. This was J.K. revealing that her work was nothing more than Masonic programming for children. J.K. Rowling is a Mason and an occultist, and this is why her book is about glorifying magic and painting the illusion that magic has two sides. Some people are under the misconception that women can't be Freemasons. Although this was once true, it isn't any longer. In England, they have Masonic lodges for women, and they also have the Order of the Eastern Star, which is a Masonic organization for women. Women can 100% be Masons, and J.K. Rowling appears to be one of them. This is why she incorporated Masonic symbols into her books. Even more proof J.K. Rowling is an occultist is the fact that she actually tattooed Salve et Coagula on her wrist. This is the same phrase that can be seen on the depiction of Baphomet, Salve on the statue's inside right arm, and Coagula on its inside left arm. Even Marilyn Manson has a whole song named after this, showing admiration to Baphomet. This tattoo is another reference to alchemy as well, which is very interesting, since her first book was about the Philosopher's Stone. J.K. Rowling would want the world to believe that she made all this up and was not at all inspired by the real-life magic she seems to be so interested in. What the first Harry Potter movie was about was Harry discovering a school of magic for kids. J.K. Rowling got this idea from the Masonic DigModiFicaTion organization that teaches kids about masonry, getting them ready to become Masons when they're older. The DigModiFicaTion and the Rainbow Girls teach kids about magic and rituals and prepares them for ritual magic. In the book, Harry Potter attends the School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, a school full of kid wizards and witches learning how to develop their magic. Coincidence? I think not. This is because the DigModiFicaTion is what truly inspired Harry Potter. Hollywood is using Harry Potter to push Masonic values to children and all those who consume the books and movies. The creator of the book admits herself that she put Masonry in her books. Even looking at the original cover for the Harry Potter Philosopher's Stone, they show it's all about Masonic knowledge, as on the cover, they show Harry Potter flying in between two Masonic pillars of knowledge, representing Harry Potter's character becoming enlightened with the teachings of Masonry. The Harry Potter series was created to indoctrinate children into Masonry and alchemy. The movie is normalizing the occult, and if we look at the merch of the movie, we can spot that they sold the Masonic Deathly Hallow symbol charm, a symbol that really just represents the Philosopher's Stone. In the book, it states that whoever holds all three of the Hallows will be the most powerful wizard in the world and a true master of death. The Deathly Hallow symbol is essentially the key for immortality in the Harry Potter book, just like the Philosopher's Stone is believed to do. What's sad is that so many fans of Harry Potter actually went and got this Masonic symbol tattooed on themselves, not at all knowing what it truly represents. They went and marked their body with a symbol J.K. Rowling admitted is a Masonic symbol. It's clear to me the entire book series was created to promote Masonry and make it look positive. A good example of this is how we see them present the Order of the Phoenix. In the book, there's a secret order of good wizards called the Order of the Phoenix. Unsurprisingly, the Phoenix is another Masonic symbol, which represents death and rebirth. Occultists love to picture the Phoenix rising from the ashes. In the book, they make the Order of the Phoenix, which is just the Freemasons, appear as the good wizards who are trying to stop the evil Lord Voldemort by establishing a new world order. This is what Masonry wants people to believe. Just like Marvel painted the Illuminati as the heroes, they're painting the quote-unquote good wizards as the heroes. This is how they convince the masses that Masonry is good and holy. Most people defend the Harry Potter movies, claiming it's harmless fantasy. But what happens when the fantasy is based on reality and is promoting real occult ideologies to the world? Most people don't realize that a lot of the spells and rituals casted in the movie are inspired by real occult rituals. In one of the rituals used to summon Lord Voldemort, we see a character called Wormtail perform a blood magic ritual to summon the demon. He sacrifices part of him and uses the blood of thy enemy, which is Harry Potter, in order to summon the demon. This is what they have kids watching, and they want us to think is good and harmless. This is called witchcraft. Whether fictional or not, it will still influence those that consume it. I was in the comment section of a YouTube video about Harry Potter, and the first comment is literally someone saying that when they watch Harry Potter, it makes them want to be a wizard. This comment has 1,500 likes on it. That's 1,500 people in this comment section alone that feel that they want to be wizards when they watch Harry Potter. This is the purpose of the movie, to guide the youth to the occult. Whether you believe it or not, there are people who are wizards and witches practicing ritual magic every day in lodges all around the world, and they call themselves the Freemasons. The Harry Potter franchise has made billions of dollars, all while indoctrinating millions into occult magic. This is sadly how the elite control the world. J.K. Rowling wrote the Harry Potter books, but what if she didn't? There are some people online who believe J.K. Rowling isn't even a real person. They argue that she is most likely a paid actor who was instructed to act like the author. These people who believe this state the fact that she wrote 7 rather large books in 10 years while being broke and not having any financial backing. They also bring up the fact that she was very successful very quickly, something that never normally happens in the book world. This theory to me makes a bit of sense, as there's too much Masonic ideologies within the book. It does seem like a larger-than-one type of work. I wouldn't be at all surprised if J.K. Rowling was just a face, while the Demole organization be the true ones behind it, since the movie seems to heavily promote the organization. Whether J.K. Rowling wrote the books or not, we know it's nothing more than Masonic propaganda, programming made to guide people away from God in the direction of the devil's teachings. Well, like I always say, we must remember that every day we wake up, our souls are at stake. And we also must remember to help those who can't see the truth find the truth. That's it for this video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.